storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Oh, how's it going? See, you got some people filling in already. It's good. Yep. Yeah, we're on Twitch and YouTube today. So, we'll be checking back and forth with that. Today we're going over the 2018 draft prospects, wide receiver position in particular. Should be a good time. Like I said, draft is on Thursday. A lot of people are getting excited. They're already going out and buying their grocery ingredients, and they're excited. And there's a good reason to be. After I personally watched the wide receivers at the Senior Bowl and the Combine, as well as monitored during the season. And there's a lot of good prospects out there. A lot of kids that have a good opportunity ahead of them, and it should be exciting, and we'll see. Just loading up some footage here. Yep. Yeah. No, I see that. I see that comment. Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, we have a lot of good things to go over today. It'll probably be about an hour. We're not going to hang on here too long. Yeah. And all right, so let's get to it. So what we're going to be analyzing today is we're going to be going with I personally, the way I learned to do it is to go through and look at the 40-yard dash time. You're going to look at a lot of different things. 3-cone drill is important, 20-yard shuttle is important. Of course, the film is the most important thing. To me, we're going to be going over some stuff that's sometimes overlooked. There are teams like the Patriots that do not overlook this. The Texans don't overlook this. The Dolphins don't overlook this. And all of these teams that I'm mentioning, a handful of other teams as well, they do pretty well for themselves in the draft as far as wide receivers are concerned and athletes are concerned. So what we're going to be doing is I'll be telling you the first guy. His name is Dylan Cantrell. So he's a Texas Tech guy. He's about 6'3", 212. Not your typical Texas Tech wide receiver. He's pretty big for that school in that position. Typically, they like to go after more elusive, undersized wide receivers. This kid can move, though. I mean, he ran at the Combine. Let me see his numbers here. So a 6.56 3-cone drill, which is, to a lot of scouts, the top measure for acceleration, deceleration, and agility, because it measures your ability to move around in small spaces and create separation. That's exactly what the 3-cone drill measures. 6.56 was the best at the Combine this year, I believe. He didn't get a very good prospect grade as far as overall grade, but he's a redshirted senior. He's from White House, Texas. Let's see. Started 6 games, 20 receptions, 312, 2 touchdowns in 12 games. But they had to redshirt the 2015 season due to back injury. In 2017, he started in all 13 games, caught 71 passes, and for 816 yards and 7 scores. So he was able to. Teams seemed to really focus on him in the Big 12, but he had about, for every 10 catches, 1 was a touchdown, 7 scores off of 71 passes. caught. That's a pretty good number. So yeah, let's take a look at his film. We're going to look at his highlights just to start. I like to watch full games, but let's see if we can find anything. Okay, here it is. All right, so this is 2016, which is perfectly fine. Let's see here. So I'm guessing he's the bottom guy here. Yep, he's got a little tag on him. Watching the draft breakdown. Gotta mute that. See, he's able to get physical with the defender. Again, at the next level here, they're gonna ask him to do a lot of different things, especially with sort of a low prospect grade. He might start off as a special teams guy. I would imagine he's gonna work his way into a role. He reminds me a lot of Humphreys. He reminds me a lot of even a guy like Julio Jones, where coming out of cuts, he is very quick, and that's Julio Jones's specialty. Both big guys, both have good frames, excellent catch radius. As you can see here, he's got man-to-man coverage. He's locked in with the defender. One-handed technique, sort of a bad technique by the corner here, but either way, he's able to get his hands on the receiver. Now, that's what all teams are looking for now. I mean, they're looking for guys that are versatile in the skill position at wide receiver. For the simple fact that, you know, in this NFL, you got to find guys that want to block, because you got to fill a special teams roster. And so that special teams roster is very difficult to fill. Matthew Slater is a guy that comes to mind. I mean, he's ran a handful of passes in New England, but he's made a career out of it. And he blocks like crazy. He gets down on kicks. He's quick. He's physical. He's smart. These are all attributes that Cantrell has. As you can see, he's engaged with the blocker. Sort of a, it's like a bicycle lock, It's, as you can see, he's cutting across the deep part of the field. That's what I was talking about before with that catch radius. You can see the ball is sort of thrown to him outside the 20, and he's able to reach and extend double coverage as well and make a pretty good catch. So right here, this looks like a pretty much uncatchable ball, and he's able to extend, make a good catch, and then control his body and fall before he gets out of bounds, which is, that's remarkable, because again, you don't want to leave, especially in this new NFL with all these new rule changes with the catch. What's a catch? What isn't a catch? Did he survive the ground with it? Catch the ball, make 2 steps, fall to the ground, keep the ball on top of your chest. It's a catch. And then more importantly, stay in bounds, because that out of bounds line plays a huge factor in all this crap. So he did a great job here. Again, just having that awareness of catching the ball, controlling his body, and then falling to the ground and controlling the ball as he's rolling to the sidelines. Very good catch. Good extension. That's the radius that we were talking about before. Good job. So he's lined up in the slot here. As you can see, he's already been in sort of 3 different alignments here. He was the number 2 to the boundary. To the first play, he was the number 1 on the boundary. The next play, he was the number 3, and now he's the number 2. So they moved him around quite a bit. He's scheme versatile, I believe, because he can play in an I formation, traditional I formation offense, for the simple fact that he's got the size and blocking ability to be in an I formation or 21 personnel. 21 personnel is 2 running backs, 1 tight end, which leaves 2 receivers on the field. Those 2 receivers in the 21 personnel are base, pro, whatever. Typically, those guys have to be able to block exceptionally well, for the simple fact that you're on the field most of the game. We saw that he can block a little bit. Maybe we'll be able to dig into it a little bit more to analyze it. Again, blocking is mostly attitude. So, I mean, all these guys are physical, and they all have great skills and good hands, but it's the attitude that separates a lot of them. And that's the big question mark with every one of the players that we're going to be watching today. So you're going to see he comes out of the line. Again, it's another block. It's a touchdown. I mean, so his block led to a touchdown. I mean, there's a lot to be desired here as far as technique. He's got his hands outside the shoulder pads, which is typically a no-no. But with that said, he does lose control of the guy to the bottom of the numbers, which means this is your lane you're trying to create on this type of screen or little flare pass. You want to be able to create a lane or like train tracks on the 10-yard line from the bottom of the 10 to the top of the 10 right here. And you want to be able to allow that guy to run down those train tracks. You see, because this guy disengaged, the receiving back had to adjust and sort of widen. And again, we got a good block by the number 1 as well, which engaged. And right here, I mean, this is a touchdown right when you see it. He still has his hands on him. Could he have worked a little bit better of a job of getting his body in front of the guy? I mean, you can see he gets jacked up a little bit. He loses power. He's going to have to work on that. You're going to see it right here. He kind of gets jacked up, and the defensive back is able to disengage and create a path to the ball. This guy's got to just force it back inside, and that would be a good play. So, again, a little bit to work on as far as blocking ability, but he's a great player. Again, he's moving around a lot. Now they're in a 2-by-1 set. So you got him flexed out to the number 1 to the twin side. Sorry, he's off the line, and again another screen pass, and he took his guy. He took his guy all the way out of bounds. Now it's ironic that I was starting to talk about guys that NFL guys are looking for blocking when this guy is already exhibiting blocking early on in his breakdown. It's a good job. I mean, he gets in front of the guy, makes a good play. He took the guy out of bounds. They both collapse to the ground. If your guy's falling, you're doing a good job blocking. So now he's off the line again here to the trip side. Let's see him run a good route here. Comes back to the football. So this is one thing that intrigued me a little bit. As far as his ability to come back for the football, because we're talking about Brandon Cooks now for the New England Patriots. He's a guy that I feel like fits the Patriots mold for the simple fact that I did a little bit of stuff with the Patriots as far as draft prep, and I recall them talking a lot about the 3-cone drill and the importance of the 3-cone drill. Dion Lewis scored very highly on the 3-cone drill. They kept an eye on him throughout his entire NFL career until finally he was loose. And he was sort of sitting on the market for a little while. They revisited once a couple guys went down, and they brought him in. So as far as teams that value the 3-cone drill time and blocking ability and versatility, that is the New England Patriots. Now they're looking to fill the role of Brandon Cooks because Brandon Cooks was traded. Now Brandon Cooks, his one big downfall was, he was a great shifty receiver, could move around really well, was good with the ball at times, lacked real field awareness, I feel. But with that said, he was great deep threat. The one knock on Brandon Cooks was his ability to not come back to the ball. So you always had to throw past Brandon in order for it to be an instant completion. Whereas if they're looking for guys that can come back for the ball just in case Brady may underthrow the ball, or back shoulder fades, stuff like that. So Cooks was really not that good at throwing or catching the ball when he was coming back to it. Whereas this guy, it's yet to be determined against real good DBs. Here he looks like he drops the ball, gets a little bit of a push off, falls back to the sticks. So 3rd and 31 situation. So he's got to make a play here. Top NFL players will make a play here. Speaking of that, top NFL players making a play here. If you recall a few years back, Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech guy as well, made a huge play in the, was that the Rose Bowl? I don't know. Comment in the Twitch or YouTube section if you remember. But it was a big game. I can't remember who they were playing either. It was it Oregon maybe? I can't remember who it was. But they made a great play. He made a great play in a big situation, in a big game. Texas Tech wide receiver. Again, that's what this comes down to. 3rd and 31, you got to make a play on a big down. That's what top NFL prospects are asked to do. Michael Crabtree was a top NFL prospect and still has a pretty good career in the NFL. See if anybody answered the question on that now. So this is a good little fight for yardage. He reminds me a lot of Hogan, actually, the way he sort of leans his body. This is the last play we're going to be watching of him. You see how he's leaning his body, he's sort of bending. He's able to scrap for a first down. And so that's our first guy, Dylan Cantrell. I'll let you sort of finish watching that out. Our next guy is going to be Cortland Sutton. Now, I have a buddy who works down in Texas, and they had a lot of people at SMU, the Dallas Cowboys. They had a lot of guys down at SMU taking a look at this guy. Big receiver. 6'3", 218, 32 3/8 armed. Really a good player. Let's see here. Des Bryant replacement, that's funny. Alright, so a little bit about Cortland Sutton. I mean, with Des Bryant gone, they had, like I said before, they went up the road there to Southern Methodist University, and he's a local kid, you know, from Texas. The Cowboys absolutely love this kid. They're likely going to draft him. If I had to put money on it, this is the guy they're picking. Especially with the departure of Des Bryant, so they had a private workout with him. At his pro day, had a ton of guys there. The Cowboys are drafting Sutton. I mean, it's almost a given, especially with the other guys sort of disappearing. So a little bit more about him. His three-cone drill was a 6.57, which was slightly slower than last guy we were watching there. He's got a good shuttle. 20-yard shuttle was 4.11. 40-yard dash, not super important in my opinion or a lot of people's opinion. It's a 4.54 40-yard dash. Benched 18 times. Pretty good player as far as combine numbers. I'd like to know what his interview process was like, as far as attitude, ability to learn, stuff like that. So here we got a little quick tunnel screen. You're going to see him lined up in the number 2 spot here. He's this guy right here. He's on the graphic. He's going to widen and then bend under. He gets under the... So now right here, this is what top NFL prospects at the wide receiver position have to be able to do. I tell younger guys this. I tell college guys this. I tell everybody that I can come to. The reason why the three-cone drill is so important in the eyes of a lot of really good NFL teams is because of their ability to move well in small spaces. Because in the NFL, and in this level of college football even, the small spaces are very small. So you have to be able to take that ball, create things. Now look at this right here. You got leveraged out here. You got down, bad angle, but down chasing defensive player coming upfield here. You got a guy inside your run gap. You've got a guy on the ground here. You've got another guy. You got a friendly down. You've got a middle linebacker playing on the hash. I mean, where on earth are you gonna go with this football right here? You've got this. I mean, you got to be Bruce Lee to get out of this. And so, I mean, he just runs right by that guy, makes it easy. A little bit of a hold there, but that's whatever. He runs right by the arm tackle, which is, you know, given. Then he gets outside of the lane, and then he just turns it upfield. And look at his leg strength, too, as he's got a guy on his hip, right? See how he's able to make that play? That's a great job. Create something out of nothing. Runs right by the arm tackle, sees the space, hits the hash, gives a little jab step to the outside, runs by some guys, carries number 41 for a few miles. I mean, pretty good job. Has a lame little whatever the hell that was, but that was good. Good play. So here's it from the other angle. You're going to see it, body down here. You got a pursuit. You got a linebacker sitting in the gap. He's able to widen it and then find this hash. And now again, this is where your vision and your ability to move well in small spaces. Again, this is not a small guy. He's 6'3", 218 pounds. He is not a small guy. So for him to be able to move that well, I mean, look at that. That guy, he just, I mean, come on. Look at this. I mean, I don't know what that was. And he just, I mean, he just beat him right to the hash. Found a nice little lane, carried a guy for 5 yards, moves on, right? So here's another quick little screen. Typically, if you're a really good player in college, they're going to get you the ball no matter what. Whether that's end arounds, whether that's screens, whether that's fades, whether that's whatever pass combination that they can run, combination routes. Again, small space. Oh, jeez. I mean, just running over these poor kids from Houston. A good cut block there by the receiver. He's able to run through an arm tackle, find small space. I mean, he ran right past that guy, and he was able to sort of collect and find a few extra yards. He creates when nothing's there. That is an NFL attribute. Collected catch, easily bounced up. See, this is the other thing, too, is that a lot of teams are starting to look at as well, is thanks to TB12 and those guys, is pliability, natural pliability. When you see a guy like Rob Gronkowski fall, it's like watching, you know, it's like watching the Lena Tower Pizza slowly collapse, you know. Where this guy, he folded up and he sort of rolled and he was able to make it look good when he fell. You know what I mean? It didn't look like he got hurt when he fell. Where when Rob falls, it looks like Rome is collapsing. I mean, it's just, it's scary to watch, especially if you're a Patriots fan, I'd imagine. So with this guy here, I mean, it's just, and take a note of all Rob Gronkowski's injuries that he's had over the years with his back, his neck. He's had, I think, forearm. He had a knee. He's had some shoulder stuff. He's had a head injury. So he doesn't hit the ground well. And this guy right here hits the ground really well, which is something to consider. Because like Belichick says, your best ability is availability or dependability. So your best ability is dependability. So dependability means, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there mentally? And are you going to be there physically? Yes, that's a good question from the Twitch. Yeah, Dallas is taking him. There's no doubt from what I've been told from my buddy down in Texas. They got him. It's already decision. See small space again. Beautiful thing. Thousand-yard pass catcher in 2018 as well. 17, sorry. All right, next one. This is fun, man. I hope you guys are all excited about the draft. This is a good year, really good year. We're gonna go with the Penn State guy because hell, I went to Penn State. I'm a Penn State guy. So let's go with Deshaun Hamilton. I remember him very well at the Senior Bowl, actually. Great player. Really clean. He and Marcus Allen? That went up against each other a lot at the Senior Bowl. Two Penn State guys going head to head. He won a lot of those battles. 6'1", 205. That's prototype to me size. Just because you want to be able to catch the ball low, you want to be able to catch the ball high. What I mean by that is guys that are 6'4" can't catch the ball typically that low. Again, unless you're Rob Gronkowski, who's just a freak, or Julio Jones, who's just a freak. So, you know, 6'1" I feel like is a prime number as far as size, for the simple fact that you can catch the ball low, you can catch the ball high. That's a bad film. Let's see what else is out there. Yeah, I'd load up the pro stuff, the pro scouting film, but it's just too... It takes way too much off the hard drive. We'd be getting a lot of lag. We don't want that. So his combine results, he did not run the 40 from what I recall at the combine. I don't think he benched either. But he did run a good 40, a good 3-cone drill. I think he was around 6'8", Let me check. Yeah, 3-cone drill was 6'8", which is, again, pretty good. Anything under 6'8" is really good for a receiver in the 3-cone drill. Vertical jump wasn't that impressive, 34.5, but still pretty damn good. Broad jump, who cares? So this is against Ohio State here. I remember this game. It was a pretty good game. So what he does here is he's able to he sees that this is something that, again, this is a measure of intelligence here, because what we're seeing here is we're seeing Hamilton bypass the blitzer, right? Or the guy that's crashing down on the run stuff right here. This guy, he's crashing down, so he bypasses right at the line of scrimmage. Watch. See, he sees this, and he sees that he loses inside leverage, and he goes, oh, nope. So what happens is he turns his head, he shifts, and selects the next target near the hash, which is number 7. Again, a little bit to be desired. Gesicki had a little bit of space there. He could have had a lot of space there if number 5 did a good job blocking. So one thing to be left to desired from what I've seen out of Penn State. Again, I'm a Penn State guy, so I'm a little bit more hard on the Penn State guys than other people are. He's not a great blocker. He could be better. He could have been a better blocker all year long. But he does the job. He's efficient enough. Again, I think he tries to get there. I just don't think he has the strength yet. Probably why he didn't test his bench at the combine. Because he's not, I don't think he's the strongest guy, but he can work on that. That's something he can work on, which is, you know, fine. I mean, he's a top NFL prospect. You know, I don't want to go too hard on this kid because he is a great receiver at the end of the day, and he does have the attitude to block. He just doesn't have the strength yet, I don't think. But again, they'll work on his technique a little bit. They'll work on his strength, the strength of his hands, the strength of his arms and biceps to be able to grab and hold, because that's all blocking is in the NFL. It's just a grip. You know, if you can get a grip on a guy, you know, you're going to be a pretty good blocker if you want to be. If you don't want to be, then you're not going to be a pretty good blocker. So he sort of got bullied there, but either way. So I believe this is the fade. So what we're going to see is we're going to see him stem and then widen here. Or it's a corner. I can't remember. It's a touchdown though, I think. Yeah, it's a corner pattern. Gives a quick little nod. Again, with this play action, it's a clean pocket. He could have fought for the ball a little bit better there. I thought he didn't use his body well. Again, he's a little bit fragile. I mean, that's just my opinion. He's not super strong, which is an issue, because this is the NFL we're talking here, and if you're not going to fight for the ball, then you're not going to get the ball. So that's an issue that teams will raise with him. So again, he's got to learn how to use his body better when he's blocking, and he's got to use his body better when he's going up for a pass. These are small samples. This is one play, but one play makes a huge difference in a whole spectrum of plays, because if you look at guys in the NFL, like again, we'll talk about maybe Aaron Rodgers, right? He'll make a bad throw or a bad read maybe every few plays, right? But he's not constantly making bad throws and bad reads. He's not constantly, throwing a check down instead of throwing the touchdown, or throwing the first down instead of the check down. Like he's making good reads consistently. This right here, we're watching them play, and we want to see them do things consistently. So now, yeah, this is one play where he didn't use his body, he didn't use his frame. But what I saw as a scout was that the play before that on the run, he didn't use his body well either. So this is where you start to formulate a thesis on what a player is. So here, you see him bend it out. I mean, he's got to slow down his body, use his frame, box out, catch the ball. Again, you got to give credit to number 7 as well. That's a great play. So right here is a touchdown. This is him going up and accelerating past the defensive back while in combat. When I use the word combat, I mean that he's being confronted. There's contact, contested catch, if you will. So I say the word combat, make it things easier, because as you can tell, I had a hard time explaining it. So it's a combat catch, not this one, the next one. I believe this is on the same series, isn't it? Yeah. So the corner was at 11:43, and then the next one here, yep. So he's able to accelerate. That is right there. That's how you catch the ball. So watch him. He does a good job of sliding out his feet. Was this a pressure too? I don't know if this was a blitz. Yeah, we got a little bit of an area blitz. A man blitz here. So we got like a line stunt going in. You can see right here, this guy McSorley, the quarterback, has a free rusher running at him because the protection got a little screwed up there. So he's really got to stem this quickly. When I say stem it quickly, I mean he's got to release at the line of scrimmage and find his destination fast. So his destination here is just a fade. So he does a good job of kind of getting past his receiver. Ball's a little bit underthrown. See how quick he moves? See, this is what I'm talking about here with this. Again, we go back to his 3-cone. What was his 3-cone? 6-8-4. Small spaces, create separation. That's what you need to do, especially when your quarterback is about to get jacked up. You need to create space in small spaces and move, move, move. Right here, gets his arms. Again, here's your combat, hand checking back and forth. Right here, here's your hand checking, back and forth, back and forth. Knocks the guy's arm down, goes up for the ball, makes an easy catch. That right there is why he is a top NFL prospect. With that said, he's got some stuff to work on. So this is a pretty good pattern here. This ball should have been thrown to Hamilton, I believe. He, for some reason, Chase threw the ball really quickly. He had time to throw. If he let this guy carry through, When I say carry through his stem or get to the first down marker. Had good separation, good pattern. Not going to get the ball every time. I mean, there's your attitude and effort right there again with the blocking. Right here. So right here they're using a it's a man-to-man coverage. So Ohio State ran a lot of man, so you got to go. That's why this footage is so good because it's high-level competition and it's man coverage with inside leverage, which you see a lot in the current NFL. Is a lot of man coverage with inside leverage, especially when you have good skilled players like Ohio State currently covets. So you see he uses the fade technique, does a good job of running the guy off, creating about a 10-yard gain at least because of the runoff. Because in man coverage, receivers typically like to use several different techniques. If a guy is chasing you man-to-man, he doesn't know. If the defender's chasing you man-to-man, he doesn't know what's going on behind him. So you can just tell him I'm running all the way down the sidelines for a touchdown, and he's going to throw it over my shoulder, especially given what happened earlier in the game with the fade for a touchdown. So you can literally just have him chase you all the way down the field. But typically there's communication going on with the safety. The single high safety might be communicating to the corners, being like, hey, run, 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 you know. So they'll turn around their hips and try to make a play. So I have a feeling that's what occurred here, which is why the engagement happened with the blocking. So you're going to see it. Hamilton engages with the defender, gets his body in front, loses control of his feet, loses control of his body. Again, he's got to use his body better. Again, it's Saquon Barkley, so he's got an easy gain there. First down. All right, so now he's lined up at the number 2. Nice outward breaking stem. Doesn't get the ball. Probably should have, though. 3rd down and 13. See, this is the one thing that concerns me. Where did they go? Gesicki here? Yeah, they tried to go to Gesicki here. So that, again, that's an indicator, right? So on 3rd down and 13 versus Ohio State, you know, this is a very big game in the Big Ten. And so you're trying to get the ball to your best player for a first down because it's such a big play. So McSorley, again, it's like a Freudian thought process where there are no mistakes in your mind, right? So it's like when you go to make a play, when I'm like, so say you're the mind of Chase McSorley, and you're like, okay, where's my dude, right? Where's the guy that we need to make a play here? And it's not Hamilton, it's Gesicki. So again, that tells you something a little bit about how teammates feel about Hamilton, or in big situations. Compared to Gesicki. And again, it's not a knock on Hamilton as much as it is an indicator of Gesicki. Because again, if you're a top, let's say this is Sutton, the kid from SMU, right? And again, Sutton wasn't on the field with Gesicki, so it's kind of irrelevant. But let me finish my point. So you're going to get him the ball, and he's going to work and try to get that first down. So with Hamilton, they didn't even try to give him the ball to work for the first down. You see what I mean? So they know they can run him on a fade, and he's going to be pretty good at it, or running past the receiver, or running off on a vertical. But when it comes down to sitting in a zone coverage, which is exactly what this is, when it comes to, okay, these guys, we're going to sit down in zone, and I want my guy to make a play for us, they don't go to him. They went to Gesicki. Again, not a knock on Hamilton as much as it is a boost for Gesicki, I guess. So again, he's open here on the sidelines. They could have thrown it to him, and it would have been a one-on-one battle right here for the first down with that corner. But instead, they throw it. Again, he overthrows it. It's a pretty good read at the end of the day. Chase has got to make a better throw there. Again, I'm going to be extra critical because I am a Penn State guy. But, I mean, he's not doing much wrong, that kid. I mean, he's a great player. So now we got him lined up in the slot. This will be the last play for Hamilton. Runs a quick little flat. Let's see him turn upfield and see if he wants to block. He does. You see, it's scary a little bit. And this is a big game versus a big team, and your running back has the ball here, and you decide that you're going to walk along the court like LeBron James did in that playoff game a few days ago, right? Where, you know, your team needs you here, and you're sort of looking for the Gatorade over there. You know what I mean? I mean, come on now. Get your body involved. That's attitude and that's effort, you know? And again, you know your guy. But the thing that really bothers me is, like, sometimes, you know, it's like, okay, I just ran 5 verticals down the field. I'm tired. You know, I can't be chasing down defenders when I know my guy's going to get tackled. You don't know your guy's going to get tackled. This is Barkley we're talking about. I mean, he makes a lot of chicken salad out of chicken excrement, if you know what I mean. So he can make a play here if you help him. And so, I mean, you see that it's 3-on-1 here. It's a tough game. There's not much that's going to happen. 3rd and 14. But make an effort. I think that's all that people are asking for. Let's see him get one more catch here. See, again, look at this. 3rd and 4. What we were talking about. There are no mistakes in the mind. The Freudian process takes over where, you know, are you going to find your guy on a big play, big down? It's 3rd and 4. They're not looking at Hamilton here. And that's concerning. So, again, we got a situation where Hamilton sort of stretches out the play. They make a good read. So that's my mistake, actually, because that defender came down on him harder than I thought. And then Gesicki opened up. Good play by Chase McSorley. Good read. That's my mistake. But again, he's got. This is my perspective. This is where I was before I sort of realized like what was kind of happening. This is what I saw. Was there's a little bit of a window here for him to sit. And this guy right here, there's a little bit of a window. Sorry, I was pointing at the screen like an idiot. There's a little bit of a window right here for him to sit. And then you got this hard pressure coming off the edge right here. So that means Chase has got to make a throw here. And typically, you know, you got interior pressure coming by number 6. You got the edge guy coming off of here. I mean, if he's not just a superhuman right here, then it's 4th down and whatever the hell that is, 15 or 10. It's fourth down and 10. If he doesn't make this play miraculously out of the pocket. And he just finds his way out of there. That's what Chase is good at. So this area right here is where I was thinking he should have sat and where Chase should have thrown the ball. But again, they didn't go to that. They went behind that. And they sort of opened up the other stuff with Gesicki. They were lucky to get that 1st down because that's not efficiency. Luck is not efficiency. Luck is, okay, I was able to scramble my way out of there and make a throw. Johnny Manziel got very lucky in college, which is why he didn't have a very long NFL career. Because your luck is very short in the NFL. Your windows are very short. You have to be efficient, proficient, and skilled. And you have to make those quick reads, quick decisions. And that right there, we're not talking about Chase McSorley here, though. We're talking about just in general, getting your guy the ball. He's so far on every 3rd down, he hasn't been your guy. He had the touchdown, which was good again, though. I mean, I'm not going to take it too hard on him. There you go. There's an attitude block right there. He bent the guy in. They know that it's an inside run here, so you've got to kind of try to fight your inside shoulder. So he does that. He does a great job of fighting at that inside shoulder because the ball is designed to go inside the tackles. So when he engages here, he's in position. Then it's Barkley who makes a play to the outside. He loses the block, which is perfectly fine. He did his job, made a good play. And then now here he is chasing down the play. That's attitude, that's effort. That's what you like to see. Again, we got to see more consistency. And that's why there's a little bit of question marks with Hamilton going into the NFL. And that's why he's not the number 1 guy or the number 2 guy or the number 3 guy. It's just those small things that, again, teams are going to take a chance on this kid, and he's going to make plays in the NFL. Last one. All right, let's watch one more guy here. keep an eye on Hamilton, though, going forward. He's the kind of guy that draws a lot of attention to Penn State. Calvin Ridley. Let's go to Calvin Ridley, Alabama. Again, I'm being a little biased here because I went to Alabama as well. So, roll tide, we are. And Alabama guy, one of the best that I've seen in the past few years. Reminds me a little bit of Amari Cooper, even though he is from Alabama as well. 6 foot, 189, 9 1/8 hands. See what he ran. 6'8", 3 cone, which is, again, I like to say anything under 6'8", is pretty dang good. He's 6'8", he's just over that number. I don't know what he did at his pro day, but let's see here. Yeah, I don't like this film. Yeah, I don't like that film either. Just give me some regular footage, guys. Jesus. All right, so 4'4", 340, 15 bench. Not an impressive vertical as much as you would think. 31-inch vertical. Again, we're very tainted over the past few years. These guys' vertical ability has been through the roof, no pun intended. So it's kind of hard to measure that. I got a question on the Twitch. Does this stuff measure out on the field? Yes, it does. For the simple fact that, again, we saw in the three-cone drill with Sutton, his three-cone drill was exceptional, and he made plays in small spaces, exactly what the three-cone drill measures. Three-cone drill for 6'8" is pretty dang good. Some guys are just gamers, though, and they're hard to tackle, and it's, they can make up for it. A lot of guys aren't, though. And Danny Amendola is one of those guys where he's not going to break a ton of tackles, so he has to evade. He has to be elusive. He's not going to break a tackle. Where a guy like Ridley or Sutton, while they have decent three-cone drills, they can break tackles. So it's where a guy like Amendola has a great three-cone drill, so he doesn't have to break a lot of tackles. So if you can kind of be in the middle there. I'd rather have a guy, and again, I think the Patriots are one to confirm this as well. You'd rather have a guy that can make moves in space rather than a guy who can break off tackles in space, for the simple fact that you're going to run into guys that can tackle. And that's it. I mean, you're going to run into guys that can tackle. And it's so even if you're a great receiver who can break tackles off, it's irrelevant. I mean, because you're going to run into linebackers who can tackle, you're going to run into safeties who can tackle. And the same can be said for guys for the three-cone drill. You're going to get into guys that can move really well and fast. So right here, here we go. Yeah, this is incredible. So this guy right here, to me, I think this is, again, disclaimer, I am an Alabama guy. I went to Alabama. I do have a little bit. I do have a little bit fondness of the players from Alabama as well as Penn State. So he is my best player in the draft. Not overall player, but best receiver aside from a guy that we're going to go over in a minute, this is my surprise guy that no one's talking about that I absolutely love. Okay? So here we go. He catches the ball in space. This is what we're talking about. Breaks a tackle. I mean, Mississippi State, more like missed the tackle state. I'm so sorry. And so he makes the tackle, misses the breaks the tackle off, able to create down the sidelines. Again, great player. Look at him snag the ball out of midair. There's a kid coming out right now. He's going to be at Duke University next year. Got to give him a shout out. Good friend of mine, Jake Bobo. He is incredible. Like, I mean, he's got other things working on. I'm not going to say, but his when catching the ball, snagging the ball out of the air is something else. It is like nothing I've ever seen. So he's got to watch at Duke. Jake, if you're watching. So watch him snag the ball out of the air like it's nobody's business. It's like a bass on a Mississippi mosquito. You like that one, Al? Yeah, good joke, right? Just rips the ball out of the air. Exceptional play. I'll let you watch this while I pull up the next guy. My favorite player in the draft, again, very sneaky, very good player. Maybe I'll go by alphabetical because I can't seem to find him on this list. Is he on here? I mean, he always just seems to be in position to make a play, which is great, you know. There it is. There's his profile. Okay. So, the guy that I absolutely love in this year's draft, my favorite player, aside from this kid that we're watching right here, Michael Gallup, Colorado State. All right. I saw him at the Senior Bowl. I saw him at the practices live. He was fantastic. He looks the part. He plays the part. He's got strong hands, runs very clean routes. He's got some stuff to work on, but he's very much under the radar. Let's see here. We're going to say versus Oregon State, all right? He's from Monroe, Georgia. All my Georgia guys down there. I know a lot of players and coaches down in Georgia, University of Georgia. He is a Georgia guy. Colorado State pulled him, though. So, I did not know this, but he struggled with the SATs coming out of high school, which is what kept him from joining a major conference school. But he was very dominant. He was adopted, too. I did not know that. What I did know about him is that he made a lot of plays. Started in 11 of 13 games. Finished the season with finished the season with a six catches, 108-yard, 3-touchdown performance in the Potato Bowl. I love these bowl names, man. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl. He did well on the Potato Bowl. He did very well. But what really impressed me was his Senior Bowl. His Senior Bowl, going against other good players, other seniors, he was phenomenal. He went up against the kid from BC. He did really well. Went up against the corner from UNC. He did really well. He went up against the corner from Iowa, Jackson. It was a good matchup. They didn't do a lot of combat stuff, but they played some zone principles and stuff against him. They just did some shell stuff, some run fits, stuff like that. And he looked pretty good. And Jackson, to me, a side note, Jackson is my top player in the entire NFL draft this year. I think he's going to be the best pro. I know that there's a lot of great quarterbacks, blah, blah, blah. I think Jackson is the best guy. He's got it all. He does it all well. He's got it up here. He's got to figure it out. So let's watch a little bit of Gallup. Great. I mean, can you have a better name than Gallup as a wide receiver? I mean, come on now. So he's number 4 here. So again, we're seeing a trend here. The good players on teams are typically getting screen passes just so they can work in small space. What was his... did he have a... Where was his times? So 6.95 3-cone, not very good. 36-inch vertical, which is pretty good. I got him probably in the 3rd round, but he's a good player. Very good, outstanding player. Again, one of my favorite receiver in the draft. Again, one big major concern is his Wonderlic stuff. I'd have to take a look at that. I want to see a little bit more of his video interviews and stuff. You can pick up a lot as a scout. You can pick up a lot of cues from their interviews as far as eye contact and sentence continuation and just as far as attitude and composure is the big one, big word. As far as interviews is concerned, because we do look at that. Scouts look at that stuff. If you have an interview after a loss to a big game, we want to see how you respond. Are you positive? Are you negative? Are you blaming people? I don't know many coaches that want to coach a kid that's blaming other people when they lose. I mean, so I'm not saying he does that. I'm just saying that's what coaches and scouts look for. So again, he's like a little bulldozer here, making a good play. Releases. Really engages on the stock block here. This is versus Oregon State. Oregon State has some pretty good skilled players. Big mistake stopping your feet versus this kid. You can see that early. Watch right here. Watch this. Watch this cornerback. Looks like it's in maybe cover 4. Yeah, it looks like they're in quarters, like a soft 2 quarters coverage, maybe. But right here you can see you can't stop your feet against Gallup because he's going to gallop past you. Goes up and gets it. Oh, that was a pick. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a great recovery. Who's this kid? Wow. I mean, that's a horrible throw, but my whole thing is that, I mean, the quarterback got rocked, but I mean, look at the space, look at the separation right here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 yards of separation, and with a good ball, that's a touchdown. It's a bad ball, so it was allowed the cornerback to come back to recover. There's nothing you can do there. You're double covered. It's a tough catch. Great interception though. I mean, bad technique to start the play. Fantastic athletic play to finish it. Oh God, he got rocked. Get that boy some ice. Right here, he's bottom of the screen, down bottom here. I got about 2 minutes out. Good catch again, field awareness, knowing where the field is, knowing where the markers are. You know, getting your team into a 3rd down and 4 or 5. That's a great play. snagged it out of the field. You snagged it out of the air, made an NFL catch because it's 2 feet. 1, 2, boom, nice and easy. Cool, confident. Reminds me of Antonio Brown. Because he's just effortless. When he runs, he looks very smooth and effortless. Reminds me of Antonio Brown. He really reminded me of Antonio Brown at the Senior Bowl because I think he was wearing number 84 as well. So, oh, bad throw. See this right here? This is something to just keep an eye on. You know, you don't. It's 1st down and 10. It's a field goal game in the second quarter of kind of a meaningless game. This tells me one of two things. He's either super competitive and wants to make the catch, or he's kind of got a little bit of a bad attitude. I want to see how does that boil over. This is the stuff that scouts are watching on film, and these are the questions that they ask in the interview rooms at the Combine. Because you're trying to figure out, okay, was this him being competitive or was this him being selfish? So you see, he sort of gets a little bit frustrated with his quarterback. I would get frustrated with my quarterback too, but again, it's 1st down, bud. Get back to the line, run it again. Run the same damn play. You got him beat. So here's some red zone stuff for him on Gallup. You see, you got, damn, it looks like a cover 4 to the boundary here. Just sitting on top of him. He's able to make space. I mean, that's what we're talking about right here. Look at this catch. Make no mistake, he can play football. See, he sits in the zone. Right here, you see it. He snaps his head and finds the soft spot. That soft spot is right here behind this referee. This quarterback right here, now this is what we're talking about with Hamilton. Again, Gesicki, the tight end from Penn State, is not on this roster. But they do have some other pretty good receivers. But it's 2nd down and 11 in the red zone. Where do I want to put the ball? Remember on the last 2nd down and long, where did they put the ball? He caught it down the sidelines, set up a 3rd and 4. Again, they're looking for this guy to make a play, which is a good sign. Again, because that's just a subliminal thing in your head as a quarterback. Where's my dude, right? Here's my dude. I mean, he goes up, snags it, heavy contest, and grabs it, sets up a 3rd down and 2 or 1 or whatever the hell it is. Watch one more play. 1st down and 15. Catches it, works in space. That's what we're talking about right there. This is what you need to do as an NFL player. You see, your average college player makes the catch here for a 1-yard gain. This is not an average college player. This is what NFL scouts look for. This is if you're a receiver, you want to be an NFL player, this is what you got to be able to do. If you're a high school coach and you want your guys to be good, this is what they got to be good at. If you're a college coach and you want your guys to make it to the NFL, this is what your guys have to be good at. They have to be able to make a play while they're guys in that area. And this is exactly what he does. He makes the catch, which is, whatever, for a 2-yard gain. But watch him fight for a 5-yard gain. That right there is what you need in the NFL. Because, again, you look at guys like Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman's not running for 70-yard touchdowns a lot. He's making plays that are supposed to be 2 yards and he gets 5. Or he's making plays where he's supposed to get 9 yards and he gets 11. Or he's making plays where he's supposed to get, negative 1 yard and he gets positive 4. He's making chicken salad here, right? And it's a great play. That's what we're looking at. So some good players in this year's draft. Glad you guys were able to join me on Twitch and on Facebook, YouTube Live. We had some fun today. It was good, positive sort of atmosphere. I liked the questions. It was good. Thanks for stopping by, guys. And like I said, there'll be more of these coming up with the draft coming up and expiring. So we'll talk to you soon.